set the stage for, I believe it was in round 4 or 5 when you met Hikaru. Let's discuss that game.
Yeah, I don't remember which round it was, but okay, I was white again, and I don't know. I decided to start playing a bit randomly. D4, knight f6, bishop f4, the London system. He played bishop f5. Again, I couldn't remember really what the theory is. I remember that Levon was enjoying this kind of positions after bishop d3, bishop dc3, cd3, and I think he won some nice games here. I think he won a nice game against Keimer. Maybe I'm mistaken, but basically at some point he played knight f3, e5, and he got some nice pressure with white.
Yeah.
Instead, I played c4, e6, and now basically from what I remember, there is some theory with the move knight f3 here, where black plays bishop takes b1, queen b1, bishop b4 check, and white's king very often goes to d1. And for example, I think that Magnus Carlsen once beat Wesley So from this position in a classical game in Vikings, but I didn't want to go for that because I think it's very decent for black. I played knight c3, bishop b4. Already, this is probably not really theoretically very good for white. Queen b3, knight c6. I was already regretting my opening choice a bit. Anyway, we played a few more moves. He had a very good position for sure.
Knight f3, castle, bishop e2.
Yeah, I mean, I just was playing kind of moves that looked like they're not super bad for white, but obviously black has more than equalized at this point. So let's go a little bit further.
Yes.
He went to c5 later on. We traded everything on c4. He played c5.
Yes.
Queen b3. Already here, I think we both missed that he has some kind of g5, g4, and knight d2 tactics, but luckily it's not super bad because I get the pawn on b7, but I think we both overlooked this. Yeah. Maybe we were both kind of playing a bit intuitively. So queen e7, I played h3, which I didn't actually want to. It wasn't my idea to stop g5, but it has the purpose of stopping g5.
G5 and g4 because now you control
Rook
the
c8,
g4.
rook f to c1. Here he had some strong g5, h5 stuff, which I wasn't really considering. Instead, he played a bit slowly. Obviously, he has a comfortable position, but he could have been playing for an advantage. H6, a4, rook fd8, a5. I was kind of happy to get this because at least it felt like the b7 pawn is a bit of a tender spot, in some... Not immediately,
rook
but...
a2, rook b2, and queen takes b7, things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to equalize. I wanted to play queen b2, knight d2 at some point. So he played f6. I was a bit surprised by this move. Anyway, I played queen b2 to play knight d2, g5 now. Bishop g3, bishop to g6 is probably a little bit of a empty move. Maybe h5 was a bit more dangerous. Knight to d2, take. I've equalized, so that's good. e5, queen b2. We traded everything on d4, and here he made a rather dubious move. He could have played king g7, for example, and the position is equal. Neither side is really risking very much. Although in blitz anything can happen. Bishop f7, I suddenly saw that I have a chance with rook to e1. And if he moves the queen to d7, I have this move d5. And although black is probably more or less okay there, white is definitely the one with the initiative because I get the f6 pawn, his king becomes a bit weak. Instead, he played queen f8, which I think was just a blunder. I mean, he just missed b7 is hanging. I can't explain it otherwise. Rook a8, a6. I played a6 kind of intuitively. I just thought, okay, long-term a7 is a big weakness in endgames, and I really want to fix that pawn there. Bishop d5, queen c7, rook c8, queen a5, queen f7 apparently is a big mistake, but it's not easy to play this with black. It's a very dangerous position. Queen f7, bishop d6. I started to play like really, really decently here. Rook e8, bishop c5, everything was kind of correct. Bishop c6, queen c3, queen d5. I think he was happy to get this, but it turns out that it's an empty threat. I mean, okay, queen g2 is not an empty threat, but it's easily covered with f3, and then the queen is actually not well placed on d5.
Yeah.
It was better on f7 because it was defending both the king side and the pawn on a7. King f7, queen c2. Suddenly it looks like he's collapsing because queen h7 is coming. King g7 take. Now rook takes e8, bishop a7 wins another pawn, so he took with the bishop. Rook to e1, invading on the 7th. h5, rook e7, bishop f7. Here I didn't want to take on a7 because I saw this move queen to d6 and I got a bit worried.
You mean take, and queen to d6, yeah?
Well, no, I mean bishop a7 immediately. Because rook a7, I thought I might lose good winning chances because take, and queen c4. And endgames could be very drawish. So, but I was looking at bishop a7, and then I was worried about queen d6 here because I thought he's attacking two things. And then I just missed rook f7, king f7, queen h7, and I win his rook by force. I just like win everything basically, not just the rook, but everything.
Yeah.
So that was a good move. Instead, I played queen e4. I thought it should be a safely winning endgame. Probably it is, but he started to resist in the typical way that he does, which is very tenaciously.
Yeah.
Rook a7, rook e4. So it's definitely a winning endgame, but I started to drift a bit here. King f2, I thought it's a good move, but probably not the best. King g6. Rook d7, good move. Rook e8, d5. First I played a7, looks fine. Bishop c4. But although a7 was fine, it wasn't practical, because if I played d5 first, his bishop can't get active, and then I think he loses this without being able to resist.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I play a7 and his bishop gets stuck on f7.
Yeah.
After a7 immediately, he played bishop c4, and he's getting still d5 is winning, but he's getting a bit of activity. f5. Here I played a good move, rook e7, rook to d8, and here I probably made it. I mean, if I played bishop b6, I think he resigns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rook somewhere, d6, d7, that's it. I don't know why in this position I played d6 within like a second, but it's very inaccurate. And after bishop d5, I have to win this game all over again. It's no longer so easy from a practical point of view. Rook c7 was kind of panic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
King f6. Bishop b4 was a waiting move, but not a very good one. f4, now I decided I have to do something. So I saw this idea, rook c5, bishop c3, and I take the g5 pawn. And at least I thought I got 2 pawns.
Yeah.
But it's now very tough, because if I lose g2, I probably don't win this game anymore. And he started to hunt my pawns.
Yeah.
And I think he was probably objectively drawn at some point. Maybe we can fast forward, because we started making random moves.
Rook takes d6, rook takes h5, rook to d7, rook h6, king f5.
Okay,
Defend
6.
the pawn, rook a6, rook c7, check.
Rook a5, king e4, rook a3,
Mm-hmm.
king f5, king g1. I mean, it's very difficult to win this because I'm a bit passive now.
Yep.
I wanted to get my king to h2 and maybe like defend the g2 pawn laterally with rook on the second.
Uh-huh.
Rook e7. I don't know why I didn't play rook a2 at this moment, but instead I played bishop d4. Rook e1, king f2, rook d1. It's already very close to a draw. Bishop c3, rook c1, rook a5, just random check basically. King e4 was a strange move because now he's blocking the attack with the pawn on g2.
Mm-hmm.
Bishop d2, rook c2, king e2, king d4, rook a2, king e5, and here I just win with king d3, followed by bishop f4. I actually get 3 pawns there.
Yeah.
But instead I made this move rook f4, and I kind of assumed rook takes d2 was losing, king d2, king f4, g4, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know if it's winning, although I assumed it was winning.
So you just like bring the king up. How does he defend against that? Like, what would his drawing mechanism be? Because he cannot go for your h3 pawn.
It does start to look winning. I don't know.
I see the engine is giving just a slight advantage, but probably.
Yeah, maybe the engine is fooling us here, and it is actually winning. That's how it felt during the game. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I guess I didn't drop the win. Mm-hmm. Although rook f4 was definitely not a practical move. Bishop g2. Here I think I converted rather. I mean, I was playing some like random moves to gain time because I was still down to like under 10 seconds.
7 seconds at this point against 20 seconds for Hikaru.
But it was kind of easy to play. I just had to make sure I wasn't blundering anything. And eventually I advanced my h pawn.
Yep.
h4, rook c7, h5. Once it's on h6, all my pawns are defended, and there's not much he can really do anymore, unless, besides, you know, hoping I blunder a bishop or a rook.
Yeah.
Then my king invaded slowly to d6, c7, and there was no longer much he could do here. And then I won the bishop, and he resigned because even time couldn't even the clock situation couldn't save him in this position.